What is up, guys? It is Dadbon here once again with another walkthrough, this time through Kena Bridge of Spirits. So this game kind of came out of nowhere, and it ended up being one of my favorite new games that I played in a good long while. So I figured I would give it the full walkthrough treatment here. So this will take you from the beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game, leading you to your Platinum Trophy, if that be what you so desire to get out of the game. If not, this will also give you strategies for each of the bosses, each of the areas, all of the pickup locations, all of the rot locations. So it'll help you either way, Platinum Trophy or not. So anyways, with that being said, let us dive right on in. So we're going to start with a new game here. And for those of you starting the game for the first time, you can select your difficulty. We're going to go with Spirit Guide, which is more or less the normal mode. If you want to be harder, you can go to Expert. Want it to be easier, you can go to Story. Spirit Guide will give you a plenty enough of a challenge. So don't feel like you're going to be just waltzing on through and beating this game easily. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge even on the Spirit Guide difficulty. So we're gonna go with that and head on into the game here. Let's see, gonna just make it a little bit brighter just because typically it's a little bit easier to see on the recordings if I make it a little bit brighter. All right, here we go. Unique wooden masks are carved to honor the dead. Placed in sacred shrines, these masks gradually return to dust, symbolizing the spirit's graceful, peaceful journey into the next life. Not all spirits can travel this path alone. Struggling with tragedies of their past, they linger and become dangerous. Masters called upon to help these trapped violent manifestations are known as spirit guides. So we are a spirit guide. Kena is a spirit guide. So that is who we are. We're helping these people that suffered something tragic in their past and have not been able to let go and move on. And so we're helping them move on so they don't turn into something dangerous. Very reminiscent of Final Fantasy X for those of you who play that game. Kind of like a Yuna type role. We have to send the people to the next plane, so to speak. All right, so here we are. So this is our tutorial for the game. Press L1 to pulse. So the pulse serves many purposes in this game. It can light up the area. You can use it in combat. And if you hold the button down, it actually acts as a shield as well. So very useful. Get used to that L1 button as your pulse. So we're going to run on through this here cave. There's really not much going on. It's just kind of a path. You can actually, if you want to get used to your combat, all of the attack buttons are going to be mapped to the shoulder buttons of the controller. So your R1 is going to be your light attack. Your R2 is going to be your heavy attack. You can also charge up your R2 to get a really strong attack. And of course, the L1 is your shield and your pulse. If your timing is very good, you can use your pulse to parry enemy attacks and give you kind of a window of opportunity to strike back, get some free hits in. If your timing is very good, the parry window in this game is pretty tight. So that's something that you're probably going to have to practice if you're going to want to be utilizing it quite a bit throughout the game. So anyway, those of you who are familiar with Dark Souls combat already are familiar with the style of combat, having all of your attack buttons on the shoulder buttons. I actually quite like it. It feels nice, pretty smooth. And anyway, so let's go on through this cave here so we can step on the switch. And this game has a lot of puzzles. Those of you who are fans of the Zelda series, particularly Breath of the Wild, there's a lot of puzzles in this game that are reminiscent of kind of the shrines in Breath of the Wild, if you're familiar with that. So this puzzle is a matter of standing on the switch and then, of course, tapping the L1 button to do your pulse. And then when you do that, the door opens. A very simple puzzle for starters, but some of the puzzles later on in the game can be there's some brain teasers in here, so they're not all easy. So as I said, get used to that L1 button for your pulse. You're going to be doing that quite a bit throughout the game. So we're going to head on forward the only way that we can go here. And then we're going to drop down here. And we have a fellow, friend or foe. We will see.
I sense suffering here, Spirit. Do you need help?
You know nothing of suffering. This is my home, my village. Turn back, Spirit Guide.
All right. So our first encounter here, press R1 to do a light attack, press R2 to do a heavy attack. We kind of already went through that. But these guys, nothing to worry about. Just kind of wail on them with R1 and you'll get through them. This is really just helping you get familiar. You can hit the R3 button, the control stick down to lock on. You see that red icon on top of them? That means I'm locked on to him. Locking on is generally a good practice. I mean, not 100% of the time, but in general, it is a good thing to do. Make sure that all of your attacks are centered on who you want to be hitting. So let's try some heavy attacks here. Oh, he dodged my charge attack. There we go. So you can see that charge attack does a lot more damage. And so you see that number 10 up at the top right corner. We just got some experience points. So go us. Yay. Okay. So this, you see the switch doesn't press in. You pulse. It doesn't do anything. So this is kind of the next tier of puzzle. So we actually have to do something else first. We got to light up these things with our pulse. So you see that just lit up. And then now that side of the door's lit. Got to do the same thing on the other side. Go here, do a little pulsey pulse here, and light up the other side. And now our switch is available. How about that? Okay. And here we go. All right, so we're going to run straight ahead, get ourselves out of this here cave. Congratulations, you've passed the tutorial. Or at least this part of the tutorial. So, we got the light at the end of the tunnel here. So as you can see, this game is gorgeous. I mean, look at this. And the environments are lush. I mean, the lighting is pretty good. I'm playing this on PS5, by the way, so I've got the 60 FPS mode going on right now. And golly, this game is gorgeous. It's like playing a Pixar movie almost. So we're just going to follow this path along here. And we see these little kids. They kind of popped out of nowhere. You see, they are spirits, but they're, you know, we're going to interact with them as well. This be Saya and Benny. And they're going to be our friends for a good bit here.
I saw him here somewhere. Where did he go?
Hi there.
All right. So that's Saya and Benny. So you can see they are spirit beings. And if you remember the text at the beginning of the game, our job is to help them kind of move on from something tragic that happened in their past so they don't turn into something bad. So here we got this guy. Use your pulse, and you will be able to capture him. Press triangle to collect. And this is the intro to our friends known as the Rot.
Hi. Oh, it's all right. What happened here, little guy?
All right, so this is our Rot buddy here. So now we got to hit the switch. And you see, he hangs out on our shoulder. He's kind of like our Pikachu in this game. He hangs out with us for the whole game on our shoulder. So he actually doesn't count as a Rot per se. The next one that we find is going to be number 1. This guy is just kind of our companion. All right. So we're going to move on forward here and carry on with our journey. And if you could tell, I mean, the cutscene animations are just absolutely gorgeous, top-notch animation. And this is this developer's first game to ever make. It's pretty crazy how well done it is for their first game. So you see this purple thing here on the ground. As you traverse the world, you're going to notice little purple indicators. They can be on the ground, they can be on a rock, under a rock, by a tree, whatever. When you see purple, that generally means rot. So you want to pulse. And that will expose this rot here. So let's collect him. And this is going to be technically our first rot. So we got 1 of 5. We need to find 5 in this area. So that's what we're after. So if we go straight here and veer off to the right, as I said, purple usually indicates rock. So you see a rot. So you see this rock here is glowing purple. So by now you should know the drill. Pulse. And here is our second rot. So we've got 2 of 5. So we have to collect all 5 in this area to be able to progress. And not all rot are mandatory. There's a total of 100 of them in the game. Not all of them are mandatory, but in this area, the first 5 are mandatory. And so what rot are? This is number 3. So what rot are is they are helpers. So we can use them to interact with the environment in various ways, as you'll see later. They are also useful in combat. You know, that'll become more fleshed out kind of later as the game progresses. So you want to hop down those little stairs there, turn to the left here, and go through here. And we have this treasure chest here. So rock can also be hidden in treasure chests as well. Treasure chests can hold a great number of things. They can hold the currency that we use in this game to buy stuff. They can hold rot. They can hold what are called hats. We'll get into the hats a little bit later. Okay, so we want to jump up on these stairs. Kind of follow this path around. And so you see this area. This is known as it's called corruption, more or less. And we can't progress through this area until we have our 5 rot. You see that thing, this flower here, this dead zone heart, I guess it's called. It says collect more rot to purify it. So we need to have our 5 rot before we can purify it. And we cannot move on until we purify it. So this switch might look familiar, kind of similar to the ones in the caves. Step on it, you know the drill, do your pulse. And so now these stones have been raised. So let's follow. Of course, X to jump, and you can press X in midair to do a double jump. So let us follow these stones here. Across the way under the waterfall. And see that little purple glow up there? There's our rot. Do a little pulse. And we have our 5th rot. Okay, so we are well on our way. We're at rot level 1. Says the rot can now perform more actions. Your team of companions has grown and you now have 1 rot action available. Press square to send the rot onto objects in the environment. Collect rot to level up and gain more rot actions. Okay, so yes, as I said, as you get more rot through the game, you get more powerful. It helps you a lot in combat, as we'll soon find out. And also having rot a minimum of 5 allows you to do certain interactions with the environment. So we're about to get our first taste of that. So we're going to go up to this dead zone heart. You see this little rot icon that appears over like kind of the center of the flower there. You can use your rot. And then once you use your rot, you see them circling there. Press your L1 to pulse. And there you go. We have fixed the area of all corruption. So let's see. This tree got knocked over. So actually the way forward for us is going to be to climb up this tree log here. And here we have some water. Kana can swim. So, you know, water is not bad in this game. You can swim. Unfortunately, there's no button to press to swim any faster. This is actually as fast as you'll ever be able to swim. But yeah, you can explore through the water. You cannot dive either, but you can swim. So we're gonna climb up this gap, and you can see like the white kind of marking there. That indicates that it's a ledge you can grab onto and pull yourself up. So I'm gonna jump over this gap, and so you see over here more ledges that we can jump onto. So yeah, it tells you to press towards the direction, press up to jump, press X to jump up or across the ledges. So we are all the way to the top. So down here we see some more corruption. You see this little red wispy thing in the air. That means that this is going to be an encounter. So let's go down. So this will spawn into an enemy, and you see the flower just kind of bloomed. So it says enemies frighten the rot. The rot are scared and have gone into hiding. Attack enemies to build up your courage. In combat, spend courage to perform rot actions. So courage drops can be found in the world. Collect courage drops with your pulse L1 or touch them to build up courage faster. So you can see that empty circle above our health meter at the bottom left. That's our courage. So you see that it's empty. So we actually can't do any rot actions. So putting the rot on the dead zone heart to be able to cure it. It counts as a rot action, so we don't have any rot actions, so we can't do that yet. So the way that you increase your courage is you can attack your enemies here. So you see that circle is kind of filling in with the yellow. And now that it is completely filled in, we have our rot action is available. So now the rot are ready, we can perform one action. As soon as we perform one action, that circle is going to be empty again. And if we want to do another one, then we're going to have to fill it back up. So as you collect more rot in the game, you actually get more circles, and the more circles you have, the more actions you can perform in succession. And so that actually is going to help us out a lot in combat as we move on through the game. So now that we have a rot action, we can do a couple things. First of all, we could cure this dead zone heart, the little flower, like we did before, or we actually have a new action available. We can use our rot to bind enemies, and the way that you do that is you hold L2 to aim and press square to bind, or you can lock onto them and it'll give you the opportunity to bind them as well. So let's check out the bind attack. So you see I'm locked onto him and I have that rot icon on him. So you press square and I can bind this enemy so he can't move. So it actually gives us kind of free hits. You know, not that big of a deal for these weaker enemies, but you know, for bosses and stuff, the bind attack can be a game changer. So now we got to charge our rot meter back up so we can get rid of this dead zone heart. Until you get rid of this, the enemies are actually an infinite spawn. So if you want to kind of get a hang of combat, this is not a bad place to do it. Also, if you want to try to learn your parry attack, not a bad place to do it. And if you happen to die, no big deal. You actually respawn right here. So not much of a penalty for dying in this game. So there we go. I just did a parry. You do the parry, as I said, by hitting L1 at just the right time before the attack lands. And parries can be useful. They are kind of hard to do. I didn't do very many parries on my first playthrough just because it is a bit difficult, but it's not a bad idea to practice them and get good at doing them. So there's another dead zone heart up there, so we're going to cure that. Since we weren't in the middle of combat, our rot weren't scared, so you know we can do as many rot actions as we want as long as we're not in combat. All right, so let's climb up this here ledge. So we're in the next area. So this block is actually movable. Some of these puzzles involve these blocks that you can use your rot to move. Before we do that, I'm going to show you something here. So back here we have I call them little berry bushes. You use your pulse, it makes these little berries spawn, and you can use your rot. And it's food for your rot. And you see up at the top, you got experience points just for eating that. So there is a skill tree in this game. There's not a traditional level up system. So the experience points don't help you like level up per se, but you can use your experience points to gain actions on the skill tree, and that'll become available a bit later. So what I just did there is you press square. You can use your rot to move objects in the environment. So you press square to pick this thing up. And you can aim with L2. You see this little cursor that pops up, and then you press square. You're basically telling the rot to move to that spot. So in this regard, the rot they act like Pikmin almost. If you've played Pikmin, you know you kind of use them as your little minions to move stuff around for you. So we want to move it right here to get to the sledge. This actually acts as kind of a boost to get us up, because unless you have this block here, the sledge is too high for you to reach. So now that we've moved the block, we can get up here to the ledge. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually hang a right up here. And this little bucket here you can open with triangle. And these little crystals that it just gave us, these are our currency. The currency in this game has particularly one use, and that is to buy hats for your rot, which will come a little bit later. Hats have no bearing on anything except they're just it's just a cosmetic thing, you know. But hey, it is what it is. You can't really buy much with your money here. So if you go back here, you see this little cat on the ground. You can use your rot to pick it up. This little statue, and you pick up these little cat statues as you find them around in the environment, and they actually give you experience points. So not too bad. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna hop on top of here and jump across the gap. And you have to do a double jump to get across there, so get used to your double jumps for sure. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop on down here, have the rot move this gate, so they can move this out of the way. And really, this doesn't serve much of a purpose, but you'll see these gates kind of throughout the game. And in this case, it serves as a shortcut, so you could technically move this block over here, and you'd be able to jump right up here. Because before, this little wooden barricade was blocking the way, but now that we moved it out of the way, it's no longer blocking it. So here we have another little bucket for some money here, or money crystals. Okay, so we're gonna jump up on this ledge here, and now we're gonna jump across and hop on up. Here's the guy that we saw earlier. The mystery man.
Let me help you. I can heal these spirits and restore balance to the forest.
I know you are kind. You sense the power that flows through this land, but you do not fully understand it. Death and corruption are all that remain here.
This land can be healed, but you cannot stay here, spirit. You must move on.
You are the one who does not belong. I will never abandon my people.
All right, our first boss of the game, the Sprout. So this is our tutorial for the shield. Hold L1 for shield. So you see we didn't take damage there because we had our shield up. So that's just the game telling you, hey, you got the shield, so you might as well use it, right? You can also press circle. I do prefer to press circle to dodge around as opposed to using the shield. So you can see I'm locked on, and whenever he winds up for his attack, I'm just pressing circle and kind of dodging through the attack. And that's my preferred way of dealing with attacks in this game. I do use the shield from time to time, but you'll see me do a lot more dodging than shield. And really, it's up to you. It's up to your preference. Find what you like to do best and kind of roll with that. I like to dodge. I like to be a bit more nimble. You can also parry this guy. So I just parried him, and you have to get that timing pretty much exactly right. And so we have a rod action available now. So I'm gonna bind him, and I'll show you. You know, he's basically standing there and allowing me to wail on him. So use that bind on him. And again, if you die to him, it's not a big deal. Use him as an opportunity to learn your moves. Use him as an opportunity to learn how to dodge. Use him as your opportunity to learn how to use your shield. Use him as your opportunity to learn how to bind, to parry. Get familiar with the controls while these fights are a bit easier earlier on in the game. And if you die, there's really no penalty. You spawn right here and you fight him again. So once you beat him, though, you can't fight him again. So now that we've killed him, I guess he's technically a boss. Anything that has a health meter at the top of the screen, I call a boss. We can unlock this here. So use your rot, use your pulse. And here we go.
You can come out. It's safe now.
Look, Saya, she cleared away the poison. The little guys can eat it. They love it.
My name's Kana. What are you two doing out here, alone in the forest?
Don't worry about us. We've been here a long time and take care of ourselves.
I can see that. You both look very strong. Do you know who that spirit was with the horned mask?
We don't know, but when he shows up, the girl's poison grows stronger. Hey, what are you doing here in the forest?
I'm searching for the sacred mountain shrine. Can you take me there?
If you want to get to the mountain shrine, you have to help us with something first. Our brother Taro was trapped deep in the forest. We need you to help him.
Great idea, Saya. That'll be easy for her. Did you see what she did to that stick guy?
Help us free Taro and we'll take you to the mountain shrine.
All right, so we got our first mission. Help Taro, who is their older brother. So we will oblige. And you'll notice for killing that boss, we got 3 more rot. So killing bosses in this game typically will give you a reward, usually in the form of more rot. So we're at 8 currently. And none of the 8 in that initial area are missable. So you will also have 8 by this point in time, no matter what. All right. So when we have our map available now. So if you hit the touchpad in the middle, it pulls up our map. So all we have available right now is this kind of section right here. But it'll open up as we explore more. There's a lot more to be seen here. So our first kind of waypoint's over here. Before we can do that, though, we got to do some stuff in the village. So let's head on down to the village, which more or less acts as the hub of this game. Pretty much all of the paths branch from the village, and we're going to be going, coming and going throughout the game. So let's head on down. And just kind of take in the scenery on your way. And here we are. We've reached the village. And we get a trophy for our trouble. So you see to the side here, there's this barricade blocking the door, and I actually just took a little bit of damage. Your health, as long as you're not in combat, your health recovers automatically anyway. So this is known as spirit mail. So throughout the game, we're going to be picking up some items that are called spirit mail. And what you do is you get the mail, you deliver it to these mailboxes, and when you get the mail that's related to, this particular gate, this gate will open up. And you'll see throughout the village that there are multiple spirit mail gates. And so there is a trophy in the game for getting all of the spirit mail. So we will be getting all of the spirit mail and delivering all the spirit mail. And behind each of these gates, there's usually some goodies. So it is worth your while to explore the spirit mail and do all that good stuff. So there are trophies for collectibles. There's quite a few collectibles in this game. We're going to be getting all of it to get all of the trophies, all of the rot, all of the spirit mail, all of the everything else. So we got a encounter here. Not too bad. These guys aren't all that aggressive. Just kind of mashing R1 to kill these guys. Do a charge attack, finish them off. There we go. Got some experience points. And so now that we killed them, we see this heart here opens up, so we can take care of that. There's a heart in here that we got to take care of. And then one over here. Now, the main one should open up. Oops, there we go. And looky here, we have helped the village become a little bit cleaner now. And we have our first hat cart and our first checkpoint. So, we're in business here. So karma and upgrades. Karma are basically your experience points. You can create karma by defeating corrupted enemies, restoring the environment, finding fruit for your rot to eat. From the upgrade menu, you can use your karma to unlock new abilities. So here we go. Here's our skill tree. So we have 75 experience points. We have 8 rot and 75 crystals, I guess you call them. So up here, we can access our map from this menu, and then we can upgrade or we can access our upgrades as well. Let's see. I could get this one for 50. I want to save up for the Rot Hammer, and that's going to cost 100. I use the Rot Hammer all the time. It is a very core part of my combat strategy, so I want to get this one first. You'll see at the bottom there our Rot level. We're at Rot level 1, and once we get to 10 Rot, 10 more, 3 of 10. So once we max out that meter, we're going to get to rot level 2. And what rot level 2 will do is will allow us to do 2 rot actions in combat instead of 1. So that will help us out immensely. And it will also unlock some of these abilities. You see some of these abilities require rot level 2, rot level 3 in order to unlock them. So increasing your rot level increases the amount of abilities you can get. It increases the amount of actions you can perform in combat. So it helps you out quite a bit. It is definitely worthwhile to explore and to get the rot, to build your little army. And also, if you're going for all trophies, there is a trophy for maxing out the skill tree, getting every single one of these skills, which will require rot level 4 to do. So just FYI. All right, so we're going to visit. So just by doing that, we actually got our first hat, the mushroom hat. So you see, if you click on the menu in the top right, it gives you kind of your status in terms of how many rot you found out of the number of rot in this area, how many hats you found. There's also flower shrines. We'll get to that a little bit later. There's also spirit mail and cursed chests. We'll get to that stuff kind of later as we get to them in the gameplay. So that being said, we have our first hat. And, well, let us visit the hat cart while we're at it. And so now we also have the party hat. So as I said, you can use these crystals to buy hats, and really all it is cosmetic. So you see, you equip these little hats and then they show up on your rot. So now you see some of our rot are wearing the party hats. So pretty cool. So I'm going to go back here to this warp point. And I'll show you how this works out. So you can use these to fast travel. This is our only one that we have activated so far, so we can't travel anywhere from here yet. But as we travel through the world, we'll find some more of them, and you can use these to fast travel throughout the world. So very useful. And one final thing that we're going to do before this episode is cut. We are going to explore the game's photo mode. I'm going to get this for the crystals real quick. Oh, no, that's for berries, for the rot. So they'll come on up and eat it, and you get experience points. Good stuff. Normally they come up and eat it, but I think I did. I think the game did give me the experience points anyways. Once you open those up, you get experience points. So if you press up, you unlock photo mode. And, oh boy, photo mode. Well, if you press R1 to take a picture, you get a trophy. So if you're going for all trophies, if you're going for the platinum, might as well do that. So that being said, I'm actually going to cut the episode right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this has helped you, kind of got us through the tutorial stage of the game, get you familiar with the mechanics and the combat, all that good stuff. And my goodness, is this game pick up. I mean, this game is incredible. Some of the later encounters in the game, some of the bosses especially, are extremely difficult, and you know, it's quite a rush. Some of these bosses are a challenge, and you definitely get an adrenaline rush fighting some of this stuff. So it's good stuff. The The environments are incredible. The music, the story, the cutscenes. I mean, this game really fires on all cylinders. So looking forward to doing this guide with you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.